Yeah. Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now? How about now? How about now? We good? We good? Put a one. Put a one in the chat. Where's the sound at? Where my sound at? Sound off. StreamYard says I'm good. All right. We good? We good? All right, we gonna get at it. All right, y'all know it's not a classic Duke the Down stream if we're not having some kind of audio issues. All right, so I appreciate that. The raging health Asian. Yes, thank you. Apparently we're good now. So we got the ones in the chat. Thank you so much. All right. So we're gonna start over again. All right. What's up, guys? And welcome to another Saturday. And another Saturday brings another episode. All right. Because today we are going to be talking about one of the oldest running members of the manosphere. Okay. And by manosphere, I mean particularly the red pill space. Okay. And this person is no other than Donny Boy. Yes, that's right, folks. We are about to get into the shit today because Donny Boy apparently cannot seem to let go of the past. All right. And this is kind of like a running theme for those of you guys who don't know. All right. And this guy, which is a shame, has been a long running individual who you can consider an influencer in the manosphere space. Now, for those of you guys who might be thinking, like, wait a minute now, Duke, all right, I've been watching a lot of stuff in this manosphere space, okay, particularly the red pill. All right, I know a lot of content creators, but I don't know who this Donny Boy you're speaking of. All right, and if you haven't been sleeping under a rock or you haven't paid attention to this channel, either or, I don't fault you. All right, Donny Boy is a nickname we give Donovan Sharp. Yes, yes, our good old fashioned friend Donovan Sharp. And for those of you guys who don't know, he is the same guy that basically was known by our thanks to one of the YouTubers here that exposed him for pretty much robbing his own father. Okay, he basically scammed his own daddy out of paying an apartment bill. Okay, so this guy is kind of the bottom of the barrel, just trash. All right, and not top of that, what you guys tend to see about trash like that is that they end up coming to the YouTube space, and what they do is they play up their lives to be larger than who they are. Right? They claim to be players, even though they're not. They claim to be the best ones who know the best about game, who know the best about relationship. They know how to get your life, you low, sad, despicable male. We can transform you into a strong, strapping alpha male just by my womanese course. And this guy had a bunch of stuff where he would basically decode women's languages and all that. And then come to find out he's been living, or at least married, to a single mama this whole time while sitting here preaching to other people about how, don't date single moms. They're just horrible. That Donny Boy. So with these childish antics that he tends to pull, that's hence the reason why we call him Donny Boy. And one thing you cannot deny is this guy has been in this space for a very long time. Now, what brings us to this particular episode here? All right, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I said before. Donny Boy can't seem to let go of the past. Now, you may be asking, well, Donovan Sharp has a lot of past, Duke. What past are you talking about? Are you talking about him scamming his daddy, the single mama? Like what? Him going after Kevin Samuels? What past are you talking about? Well, We are talking specifically about the Fresh and Fit past. Yes, folks, the Fresh and Fit drama versus Abba and Preach. Y'all remember that was the biggest beef that went down in the history of YouTube. I'm talking everybody ate. Listen, that shit is still tasting good. I'm licking my fingers still. It's been a year and this still juicy, right? But that was the biggest debate that ever took place, or not even debate, just beef out there that took place in this manosphere, right? Now, this beef was so massive, it was actually a long-standing beef. And by long-standing, I mean it wasn't just the initial event that triggered everything, right? And y'all know the initial event, which Donny Boy so likes to misinterpret, but we're here to break that down for you guys, just in case we forgot, okay? We're here to remind you. Don't worry about it. But this beef was so long-standing that essentially there were multiple trigger points in which Abba and Preach camp and the Fresh and Fit camp would go after each other, and it would be this massive, incredibly massive spectacle, right? Now, here's the crazy thing. The further away we get away from the beef and the scenario, the more hazy, the beginnings of all of this is, right? And for those of you guys will be asking, what do you mean? Well, how this all started, all right? And it seems like Donny Boy here, all right, seems to have other ideas of how this beef started. Matter of fact, he seems to be of the actual nature that it was Abba and Preach that started this entire beef. He had nothing to do with it. So he recently had an episode of one of his podcasts that he streams. Yes, people still watch Donny Boy. So I mean, go figure. All right. So he was streaming it and he was talking about Preach. All right. And not only was he talking about Preach's wife, a cardinal mistake that his predecessors, Fresh and Fit, did, but he was actually kind of going in on the whole Abba and Preach beef. Okay. And he said a lot of things that we absolutely have to debunk. All right. We cannot let this man get away with it. Essentially, he's pinning the whole thing on them. He's pinning the whole beef, everything, how it started, that it was all Fresh and Fit's fault. And not Fresh and Fit, I'm sorry, Abba and Preach's fault. And Abba and Preach is somehow obsessed with Fresh and Fit. Now, you can look at some of the reaction videos that Abba and Preach has done, and you could probably come to that conclusion and maybe say they're obsessed, or you can just say they're doing what other YouTubers do, which is react to the popping content at large, despite, them having a beef in the background, right? So, Donny Boy is pretty much going crazy on all that, and we have to kind of set this straight because I want you guys to understand something, and you guys are actually thinking about the same thing that I'm thinking about here. All right, and what what I'm thinking about is why is Donny Boy still talking about this beef that happened a long time ago? Why is he so obsessed with Abba and Preach, right? So I'm going to play a little bit of this clip here because there's a lot that we have to go through, guys. So please stay with me and hit the like button on your way in, all right? YouTube is doing one of their purge, all right? So there it's going to be a bit, all right? Hang on one second, guys.
The rest of the people. I'm talking about them. Them two people.
Oh, here comes the hate.
They do.
Yeah. And what exactly is it that they do that you don't agree with, Preach? Again, more generalities, more vagaries. Let's be specific.
Okay. Right? And when we started to have a beef.
Uh-oh, here we go.
What they did.
And what did they do?
That's it.
And we'll get to that.
All right, well, let's address this real quick.
Yeah. Here we go.
Fresh and Fit.
Here we go.
Very well. Myron, Walt, okay? We've done content together just like this.
Yeah.
Have you ever done content with them? You ever been on their show?
I was on their show, but I was remote, and Abba was there.
Okay. So you guys have done content together.
Yeah. We'll do
How long ago was that?
That was probably January
It was a year and a half ago, Preach.
of last year.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking January of 20.
Oh, yeah, he's right. It's almost 2 years ago. January of 2021. That's correct.
January, February of 2021.
Yep.
Okay, so this is 18, 19, 20 months ago, whatever. This isn't ancient.
John Anderson, $5 super chat says if he was really in the space, he would know the reason why high value is harped on, because that's what all women want. Even average women, exactly. Average women don't want average men. That's the problem.
In history
No,
over here.
absolutely not. We
At
don't
the
want to.
time,
Can you guys hear the audio, by the way? Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. All right. We want to make sure the sound's doing good. Let me, it should be turned up all the way, actually. Let me do that. Put a 1 if you guys can hear the audio, okay?
was it cordial? Was it positive? Was it negative? You guys,
Again,
yeah.
I didn't know them.
Yeah.
Abba did, and it was interesting. So it's like, yeah, let's go on their podcast, whatever.
Okay.
That's interesting thing.
Right.
Exactly the reason why the basis is good.
Mhm.
And we go on there. I'm remote, and I got other things going on. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna clock in, and after that, I'm gonna clock back because I got other things, other work to do. And I thought the live there was some. They asked me a question. They asked me a question. I was in the midst of answering that question, and
He's making this up, guys.
All right, it said the audio is really low. Let me try something here. Let me try something. Hang on, guys.
Guys, and we're going to show you the proof here in a second. Abba, or not Abba, Preach ended up just jumping off the street. He jumped off the street because he was feeling some type of way, right? He was feeling some type of way about the fact that Fresh and Myron were talking about the fact that men who pay for box, there's a price to pay. They're like, listen, man, we're not against men who pay for box. We're not. But just understand that there are some drawbacks that come from that. Your view of women really seems to be, listen, men who buy box, men who pay for sex, those are the real misogynists. Those are the real misogynists. Men who pay for sex genuinely hate women because.
And there is this is what I find very interesting about Donny Boy, all right? Because you guys just hear him what he just said. He said that men who pay for box, they hate women. All right. Now I find that statement very, very interesting, is because Fresh and Fit were actually found out for paying for box, actually. Matter of fact, the actual center of this particular beef that we're going to talk about is the fact that a lot of these guys, particularly your homeboys that you're defending, Myron and Fresh, because they're on seeking arrangements and they talk about that a lot. All right. They pay for box. That's what they do. They've admitted it multiple times on their podcast. It's now such a big thing that I'm not sure if their audience really cares about that anymore. And even their handler, DJ Academics, already admitted that he pays for box. So everyone around the Fresh and Fit outfit, they all pay for box, which is very interesting that Donny Boy comes out with that statement saying that anyone who pays for box hates women. But if you notice how his tone of the whole conversation, it's kind of interesting the way he's talking about it, right? And here's the thing, right off the bat, he's already putting the blame on, Fresh and Fit, and he's already putting the blame, not Fresh and Fit, Abba and Preach, right? He's saying that they're after Fresh and Fit. They have this vendetta. They're the ones who started this whole beef. Well, here's the thing. Let's kind of summarize exactly how this whole thing went down, okay? Now, what Donny Boy is talking about, and here's the reason why he would never let this go, okay? Actually, let's talk about that first. The biggest reason Donny Boy is obsessed with Abba and Preach and why he's not gonna let this beef go, even though it happened almost a year and a half ago, right? The problem is Donny Boy is incredibly insecure. And now hear me out, folks, okay? Hear me out. Here's what I mean by that. He's insecure because the first time Abba and Preach got the heat, I'm not Abba and Preach, Fresh and Fit got the heat, right? The first time they got the heat, he was nowhere to be found. Donny Boy. All right. Donny Boy was gone. Mum's the word. All right. He even did that same thing when they came after Royal Tomasi for a little bit. He was gone. All right. Matter of fact, he even admits that the whole reason why he did that, right, why he stays silent throughout this whole beef is because he didn't want people to come after him. Right. Which was interesting because the way he actually got into this beef, all right, later on, it made a whole lot of people come after him even harder, and realistically it single-handedly destroyed his entire credibility in this platform, okay? So let's go ahead and play the video. All right, wait, well, hold on. Before we even play that, here's the thing. The stream that they were talking about was the stream where Alba first went on and Preach was on remotely, and they were talking about essentially prostitution was what ended up happening. All right, and that was a stream where Fresh was talking about how like every girl that he's ever dated, even all of his exes, they still love him because he stole all of their souls. Right, that's what he said. Fresh said that. He said that he stole all of their souls and all his exes still love him, and it was so ridiculous that Abba basically, I don't know if he rage quit, but he ended up leaving, and it was to be fair, it was towards the end of the stream anyways, but he did leave before everyone, the real questions started to get asked. So let's play a little bit of what Donny Boy was, the whole reason why he feels the need to defend Fresh and Fit this freaking hard, even after a year, almost a year and a half since the beef started.
It takes priority. Now, the first video they did on these guys, I wanted to do a response video when I was working out, right? I was working out at my gym. I saw the video. I was going to stop my workout, go upstairs to my studio and do a response video. I mean, I was fucking heated, okay? I was going to cook these dudes. Regrettably, I went against my better judgment and I stayed silent on the situation. Gentlemen, let me make very clear when I say this. Staying silent on the situation was not the right thing to do. It was not the right thing to do. I was wrong, okay? I went against my better judgment and I stayed mum on the situation. I should not have done that, all right? This was absolutely 1,000% not the thing to do. I essentially turned my back on two of my best friends to keep from getting any backlash. This was cowardly on my part.
Thank you so much for admitting that, Donny Boy. But wait, that's not all. All right. So you guys remember the first backlash that ended up going down with Abba and Preach versus Fresh and Fit, right? Abba essentially went on the podcast the first time, and they were talking, but towards the end of the show, they were, because we got the receipts, we'll play all of it. Towards the end of the show, Abba ended up calling out Fresh and Fit to their faces, because prior to that, Fresh and Fit actually did an episode on Abba and Preach, basically calling them purple pillars, right? Or they're calling them they're pretty much calling them fakes. And if you guys kind of recognize this argument, it's the same argument that Sneeko pretty much almost a year later tried to use on Abba and Preach. And the argument was basically that the way Abba and Preach structures their content, it's like they're trying to like flirt with the red pill, but they want to still stay blue pilled because they don't want the backlash of being full red pill. Do y'all remember this? This is what Sneeko was alleging to Abba, but that was after now when Fresh and Fit were levying those allegations during that live stream. So Abba saw that video. He saw that live stream, and he saw them when Fresh and Fit was talking shit pretty much about Abba and saying all these things about him being blue pill. And later in that stream, he ends up calling them out. And that's what started to sow the seeds of what we're seeing now. But let's continue with Donny Boy's explanation here.
I admit it, and I own that. What I pulled was some bitch shit. There's no way around it. I acted like a female. I apologized to both Myron and Fresh. I didn't make excuses. I straight up told them, look, man, I'm sorry. I acted cowardly, and I apologize.
Oh, by the way, guys, it's very important that we harp on this. This is the reason why Donny Boy is still defending Fresh and Fit to like the ends of the earth, right? Because he feels incredibly guilty and insecure, right? That he didn't defend Fresh and Fit when Abba and Preach was going at them, all right? It was crazy. So now he feels the need that anytime that his boys, his best friends, get in trouble, he feels the need to throw himself under the bus for them, like he's gonna do here in a few seconds.
As a man, you really need to, how can I put this? You really need to learn from your mistakes. Hang on. Sorry about that. You really need to learn from your mistakes and course correct. Okay? If you mess up, you face a man face to face, my bad. And to that end, it is time to address Abba and Preach. Dev, if you would, bring me up a bottle of cold water, because I'm definitely going to need it.
Yeah, you definitely would be. All right. So here's the thing. This is that stream in question. Let's go ahead and play.
The opposite. Now that I do what I do, I have zero time because it's too much work to take her on the date to do all this stuff. I can't be bothered. you know me, I'm working all the time. I can't even show up to stuff because I'm constantly working. And Kevin will say the same thing. It's like, I can't be bothered. So when I look at other dudes who are in a similar situation, they're working and they have to take her out afterwards and try to have game and it doesn't work out. It's just not a thing that they're going to enjoy. And you talk about the respect. Let me ask you something. All the girls you smashed.
Yeah.
If I talk to every one of them, you think they all respect you or are going to say good things about you?
Yes.
All of them?
All of them. You know, okay.
Your boy right here has to hold back a smile.
No. Because no, for me, they're not. Because the thing is once they act up, I kick them to the curb.
Hold on.
So I'm thinking about myself. Would they say I respect them? They would say no, but they would be the cat would be because girls don't want to admit else.
Now,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Girls don't admit else.
Okay, go
Here's
ahead.
something about me right now. I'm a little bit different because when I meet a chick, right, she would never know that I'm RP aware because I move so chill and so cool that like when she leaves my presence, she's like, yo, damn, what is this nigga at? Because real talk, I'll fuck a bitch, take her to eat some dinner. Her belly's full, she's feeling good. Yo, babe, text me when you get home. She's like, damn, that was an amazing time. On to the next one. But see, that experience with me was priceless. So she took the moment, bro. Break your
Nigga, you're gonna tell me in my face. You're gonna tell me in my face that she just felt I don't want her pussy. I want her soul broadcasted on internet, and you're gonna tell me that all these girls gonna have respect for.
You know, some of them watch this. I promise you. And listen, you can have the best game in the world.
We're good.
When you come at a girl, you smash her, you don't go see her again or whatever, they're going to start to feel some type of way over time. Or they're not going to like you as much or whatever it might be. Like, it's impossible to have gone through all these women. And here's what I'm also going to say. If they want to get, when they're not with you and be like, man, this nigga's a simp, whatever. As long as you're in front of me and you show me respect when we out in public, you can say whatever you want behind closed doors. That's your business. I can't control you when you're out there. Because listen, people have hindsight 2020, like they remember things differently. They can feel some type of way. You can't control that. As long as you're in front of me and you respect me and you don't treat me any type of way, then we gonna be good. I can't say anything. So when these guys are paying for the experience, say, go do whatever you want. I pay you to leave. You want to talk shit about me when I'm not here? Go ahead. But when you're in front of me and I put this money on the table, you know what time it is. That's all they care about. So I get what you're saying about the respect thing, but that's more of a, in my opinion, just more of an ego thing. And I think for these businessmen or these guys who are in these positions, they don't care about that stuff.
But see, you're assuming that I'm saying her one time.
Yeah.
I'm saying her multiple times. So I bet go first thoroughly. I don't just meet a random chick. Like, I FaceTime her, we talk for a little bit, get to know a little bit better, and then we go on a date, get to know even further. Then from there, at that point, we connect on different levels. I will say this, Fresh does have a good retention rate. But the reason why I smiled when you said that was because I know if you ask some girls that I mess with, they'll be petty. They'll be like, no, he's a jerk, blah, blah, blah. But the reason why they'll say that is I always say it. Girls cap, they ain't gonna admit nothing. So if a girl gives me like, even if it's a chick that I smashed before, I still have very little tolerance for BS. So if she flakes on me after we've already hooked up or whatever, I just won't talk to her again. Or I'll let her know, yo, this is not how I operate, whatever it may be. So you know, it is what it is. Like girls are always gonna, if you don't, how do I say this? If you hold them accountable, a lot of the times they're gonna call you a jerk off rip without you. It is what it is. So,
but that's my thing. That's the game. Regardless of whatever you do, sometimes when you leave them, they gonna talk about you. If you don't call them back, they'll be like, that nigga's dick was small, even though you had her busting nuts all across the
that
you know what I mean?
True.
Even though you blew up her guts, she'll still be like, oh, he's not that good. Right? Because they'll lie. You wanna know why? Because they don't want to admit their ego's too big to admit like he was an asshole.
Women don't hold else.
Yeah, so it just comes down to like
do it.
This whole idea of like they always gonna respect you after like you is not gonna happen for a lot of them. But if it is for you, I'll take your word for it. That's what I'm saying.
Listen. That's funny you said that because I get what you're saying. And respect for me means that at least when I leave the girl, she's not gonna me to me. That's what I mean by that. For example, like when I see her for one time, second time, third time, it's a cool chill vibe. But to say like obviously if I don't touch her back, it's gonna be like okay, small dick.
So guys, that was a whole conversation. All right, towards the end there, it started to get pretty heated. Okay, because on one hand, I mean, this whole thing was about prostitution essentially. All right, and these guys, Fresh and Fit, were pretty much on the stance, and their stance have changed now drastically. But before, they were of the stance of, well, listen, if you got to pay for box, you're not a real player. And Abba and Preacher's side was saying, hey, listen, all right, I don't think it's like that, because you could also have professional people who just don't have the time, things like that. Then Myron steps in with the whole, well, guess what? She's not worthy, you know, she's not worthy of a high value man, because, you know, the high value man conversation is still in tow. So, you know, all these different things. And the Fresh then comes in and says, well, listen, from my experience, you know, from Barbados, you know, I've been with all these different chicks, and I would tell you that all these girls want me for me because I provide the experience. So that was the clash they both had back and forth, which, you know, it kind of made sense. And realistically, we had a conversation about this while it was going on. We don't care if you pay for box. It is what it is. Majority of these high value men, I mean, let's just face it, sex tourism is part of the game. But realistically, what we do care about is just the hypocrisy of the whole thing, because you guys at the end of the day do it. And at this point in time, Fresh and Fit were preaching, hey, real players. They even had their, their DMs on demand, Instagram on demand, right? You pay them $700, they'll teach you how to DM a girl on Instagram. So they were leaning into this player shit very, very heavy until they had Alba and Preach on the platform. And it had an interesting dialogue about that. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? Here's where things start to heat up. Despite what you might hear from Donny Boy and his cronies out there in the manosphere space right now, here's what ended up happening afterwards. And I believe that it was this point that sort of left a bad taste in Myron's mouth. Not so much Fresh, because Fresh, I don't think, had the intellectual capacity to understand what was going on at the time. I mean, he kind of figured it out towards the end of it, but this did leave a bad taste in their mouth. And let's go ahead and play it.
Live, people were like, yeah, Abba and Preacher trying to hedge, right? They're trying to appeal to the masses, but at the same time keep the red pill kind of content, right? And the basis for this was like, we lost our partner program. We didn't lose our partner program. There was some issues on the back end with AdSense, so it was just disconnected for a little bit, but we got it back. So I thought it was crazy because everyone's like, man, see, he's trying to hedge and he still lost it. In my head, I'm like, nah, we getting our money. I don't know what's going on, right? So that was one thing, but okay. Specifically, you felt like we were kind of blue pilled, right?
I don't remember what show was this one.
This was on
this was Donovan. We were all together.
Donovan Sharp's live.
They did a video about basically the red the RP, basically like saying, because we've got so many streams, bro. I'm trying to like remember which one.
I remember very, very well because that episode I was very careful of what I said because the kids watched it. Yeah. I was like, okay, when watch this shit?
All right, so what did I say? I said
but you felt I was kind of blue pilled, so I just want to ask you about that. Why do you think I might be blue pilled?
Well, from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would say blue, like, I'm trying to think like which video was.
It was the one.
I'm trying to remember because legit, we've done so many live streams. I'm trying to remember which one this was and what I said exactly.
It was the one when Kevin told us about them. It was like a week after when they made this video, and basically they were talking about RP content, and we were like, yo, why are you talking about it like now? Because we didn't watch your other episodes. Okay, so it's kind of like, okay, these guys are taking our niche, talking about it, and we don't know who they really are or what they're about. And then they say, you know what? I agree with some of it, but I disagree with like a lot of it. Yeah, because there's some stuff that you guys said, and I just want to kind of get more into it. So one of them was like they were blue pilled, and like I guess people on the panel and you two mentioned this is that you guys felt like you can't be talking red pill or accountability now that you got 1 million subscribers. You felt like because we've gotten so big that you feel like maybe we're not able to talk about accountability or red pill stuff as much.
Well, you can't. Well, as a bigger channel, more platform, obviously more eyes come to you, right? And people are going to work harder to cancel you when you put out this kind of content. So obviously with a big audience, you have to be careful of what you say. You have to, even with the YouTube algorithm, and the bigger you are, more noticeable, etc. You got to be careful about what you say. So what I was saying was, I get it. You got to protect the bag. You got to protect the business. You can't be out here saying like, a lot of the more, you have to peel it back a bit. You know what I'm saying? To deal with the YouTube algo and everything like that.
Okay. So do you feel like when we cover stuff, we're being a bit maybe disingenuous in regards to some of our critique of some people in the red pill community? Do you feel like we're just saying it partially because we're trying to hedge, as they said a lot in the thing, like we don't want to appear too red pill? That seemed to be the log line during the
when you guys explained earlier your reasons behind why you made those videos and we didn't pass. Yeah, I will admit I was kind of like on the side of, maybe they're hedging us, but you guys are always doing it. So at this point, I'm like, yo, these guys are real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I get it. Like you can't, even with us, we can't say everything we want to say on YouTube, guys. No, dude, that's legit. Why we're on Patreon.
Yo, legit.
You can't say a lot of the things you say.
Fraction of how we talk. This is what we really talk.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And Zoom calls.
And like the tactics and everything else that we do, like we can get into more detail on Patreon, but like on YouTube, you don't necessarily want to put that out there. So I see why it's important to take a more purple/blue approach. You need to look at it with a critical lens and basically take from it what applies to you the most.
Okay. And the last thing I said, here we go. You got to listen to this. This is good. I didn't misquote. Anybody can go watch it. You said, I was going to get taken to the cleaners if I met a baddie. And I want to ask why.
So that's basically what ended up happening. So Abba at the end of that, and that was their first time on their show, on their platform, right? I would say they had a decent conversation. Fresh said a couple things that makes Fresh look kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? How you're grabbing girls' souls, like all your exes fall in love with you. That's such an absurd, tone-deaf thing to say. Like, I'm shocked that you actually believe this. But then again, this is the same guy that, basically banged 3 girls off of an NBA player he met at a pool party, a random pool party, right? That's the same guy. So I'm not surprised that a lot of Fresh's takes are completely outlandish, right? So you guys saw it. The first episode that Abba and Preach were ever on, Fresh and Fit, and they had a cordial conversation. They debated prostitution and whether it's okay to pay and not to pay. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO's perspective has pretty much changed. I mean, not so much as Myron. Fresh definitely has changed on their stance on real players don't pay for box. Okay, right now they're basically like, hey, you know, they're leaning to the whole high value thing where high value men don't have the time, so they're gonna pay for it, but they don't respect the men, or not the men, the women that they're dealing with, and they'll never wipe these women up. Right? That's just basically what it is. Right? So what ended up happening was crazy because after this episode, Abba and Preach ended up doing another pretty much video on these guys and talking about red pill hypocrisy and just touching up on that. Well, there were some issues with that because Fresh Prince CEO and Myron Gaines took that crap personally, right? But here's the thing. Before the video came out, Abba was also on their platform one more time, right? And that last time was when the things that were bubbling underneath the surface finally exploded, all right? And what ended up happening was the catalyst for the whole thing was a live stream that Fresh and Fit had. And it featured a woman called Nina Unrated. And for those of you guys who don't know, Nina Unrated used to be a mainstay on their platform. She's a OnlyFans model, I think ex-stripper. I may be wrong on that note, but she went on the platform and she talks, you know, as that headstrong, you know, top queen bee type of lady, and she just, you know, does what she wants. The chat likes her, you know, she has that masculine A-type kind of personality, which typically goes against what these guys preach about, but I found that interesting. Well, this particular live stream that they did, they were also hosting a Patreon after party. And the Patreon after party was supposed to feature Nina and a couple of other girls topless, right? Well, Nina didn't particularly like the idea of that. Now, here's the thing. Before you guys go thinking, oh, yes, that proud woman, yes, she's standing up because she doesn't want to expose herself like that on a mainstream media platform or YouTube platform. Nope, that's not the case at all. The reason why she had a problem with it is because a Fresh and Fit didn't want to pay her to take her top off on Patreon.
Actually, for your own financial gain and not pay me for it. I'm on OnlyFans. Why would I go do some sexual video to put on some dude's Patreon to put money in his pocket? Are these motherfuckers pimps? Are y'all the Miami pimps? Are the digital Miami pimps? We're talking about Myron telling me that he's an undercover FBI agent, or used to be, for the drug cartel, the Mexican drug cartel, the Colombian drug cartel, how he did terrorist attacks from Pakistan and all kind of shit. So you used to be an ex-FBI agent, but you're sexually harassing the women that come on your show? Because that's sexual fucking harassment. That is sexual harassment.
And guys, I had to pause it here, for example, because going back to this video and what she said earlier, it kind of reminds me a lot about what Andrew Tate is currently going through. Now, before you get down my neck, hold up. Let me explain what I mean by that. Remember what she said earlier about, you know, what these guys do with these girls, right? What are you guys, digital pimps, right? You guys are gonna bring us on here, you know, use us for the clout, get paid off of it, and then you want us to get naked without us getting paid? Like, what's going on, right? Think about it. A lot of these guys also, you know, hang out around what's going on with Andrew Tate. And as a matter of fact, they actually were responsible for the sizable bump, not recently, because Tate University and Tate's new marketing, what he did on TikTok and YouTube, actually took him over the edge. But before Tate was known, he was always on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Do not get it twisted. Fresh and Fit were partly responsible for a lot of what Tate did in terms of getting into the red pill space and getting a lot of guys in their minds up there. Tate was there. Matter of fact, he was such a frequent guest that, you know, there were a lot of things that he did that through that platform actually got out and helped his career to the point that we see Andrew Tate now. And here's the thing. After he, you know, used the Fresh and Fit platform to garner a lot of these red pill guys that are into what Tate were doing, he was able to take off. Now, here's the crazy thing that Tate does, right? A lot of things he did and he featured in his war room program is that he teaches guys how to basically make money off of women, right? And particularly using them on online chat rooms and, you know, pretty much become e-girls. That's Tate's business model. Matter of fact, after Tate got done with kickboxing, and don't let him fool you, all right? Andrew Tate realistically didn't make a whole lot of money as a kickboxer. You can even find videos of that online of him basically saying that, right? And he said that his OnlyFans or e-girl business that he started with his girlfriend and grew to about 75 houses, that was his biggest claim to like pretty much money to the paper. He was making millions of dollars, and he did that directly out of boxing. Here's the crazy thing, right? What would a guy like that, who's known for pretty much running massive platforms where e-girls pretty much attract a bunch of simps and use them up and dump them, right? What would a guy like that need to do, or why would he want to be around these two bungling dudes like Fresh and Fit, right? I mean, one of them clearly isn't high value, and the other guy has an anger problem. So what would a guy like Andrew Tate be doing around these guys? And this goes to back what I've been telling you guys way before. Andrew Tate, the audience that support that stuff, are the ones that genuinely they like loose women. That's just what it is. Just think about it for a second. The whole podcast platform, the fact that these guys are so adamant that, hey, real players don't pay for box, and all these tenets that they're preaching out there, it turns out that their fan base, the largest out of the entire red pill community, are the biggest simps that are out there. So no wonder why Andrew Tate will be part of it. Now, am I using what Nina is saying as an excuse to say that, they may be guilty of what's coming down on their heads right now? No. Actually, personally, I don't think Andrew Tate's guilty just because of how publicized everything is right now. It just doesn't make any sense. And realistically, if he indeed isn't guilty and this shit comes out, he is going to be bigger than ever before. Some people are saying this might be something he's planning and things like that, and we fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I don't freaking know. But the thing is, the fact that he got booked for the same thing, it just seems like to me this is probably a little bit more serious than what he kind of made it seem like. All right. So the reason why I had to pause it right there is just keep that in mind. A lot of these things that we're seeing coming out now about these red pill podcasts and platforms has been going on, even with these individuals, for a long time. So don't be surprised if you see a sexy girl on a podcast, talking about relationship and values. It's all a ploy to get your cash. So let's see what Nina has to say.
So they kept going back and forth. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to do any sexual content. I want to do the interview that you offered me, and that's it. I'm not interested in this. I don't want to do this. They went as far as showing me screenshots to try to stronghold me, right? And be like, oh, well, if anything, we should be charging you $10,000 to come on our show. Here's a screenshot of how much we should be charging you to be on our show. What benefit do we get from this? What benefit do you get from this? Here's the benefit that you get from this, Fresh and Fit. When I was on your podcast, let this be known. When I was on your podcast, the date and time is stamped on there. All those super chats you guys got, the $500 super chats, the $300 super chats, the $100 Snap super chats, the $50 stickers, the $20 stickers. When they got all that money, do you think they gave me a cent off that? No, they did not. They didn't give me a fucking penny off that. I didn't ask for any money. I did the interview. I did what I had to do. I was entertaining. I did my job. I was well spoken. I had great conversation. So much so that their audience requested me again to come back on their show. I'm being requested to come back on this show because clearly I'm entertaining. So if they cannot exploit you sexually, if they cannot make money off your image on Patreon, they will trigger these women. And when these women react to them, they start to record them. And then, because these women sign a waiver, they're going to take the women acting crazy and they exploit these women on their Patreon for money.
Yeah, it's called the kick out cam. I don't know if Nina, you realize that, but yeah, it's part of the whole gimmick. All right, that's what gets a lot of these guys pretty much, all nice and knotted up because they're seeing a man talk to a woman and basically kick her out of the house. Some of the things that these guys, if they were actually in front of a woman themselves, probably wouldn't even have the balls to do. But they live vicariously through Myron and the kick out cam. So that's what made everything very popular. So now here's the thing. After that video dropped, Abba and Preach did another one, pretty much kind of, you would say, piling on. Most people would say, hey, they didn't really need to do all that, but they did, pretty much responding to Nina Unrated and the whole situation that went down. Matter of fact, it wasn't just them. Everybody reacted to that video. We reacted to the video. Everybody did because it was so huge at the time. And this was also coming off of the whole situation that Myron had going on before, because we already know Myron had tons of problems with women. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? After this Nina video released and Abba released their video, that's when Fresh and Fit podcast group went scorched earth. That's when the infamous Fresh challenging Abba to a boxing match pretty much came in handy. And let's just kind of cover that real quick.
Right? So real talk, man. We put out an invite. If y'all want to talk shit, come back in the studio. We'll talk about it. Or we could box about it too. Cause I'm in the gym now. You feel me? I'm feeling nice right now. I'm wired right now.
Fresh wants to box or preach, bro. Fresh wants to box or preach,
bro. So you know what? Come back to Miami. Let's box it out. Talk it out too. How about that?
In 3 months, though. But like real talk, man. Like if we're gonna have this discussion, we're harder than you niggas, straight up, and we work harder than you guys. We put out all different types of content. Yep. We ain't just out here reacting. Now, man, look, the fuck out of here, bro.
Stop.
Yo, we're not.
And later on in the video, you're saying that you want to box with me. Sort of happened that I'm going to be in the U.S. next week. You want to fucking do this shit? Let's go. Both of you. I'll be in the U.S. next fucking week.
Hold up.
Let's go. We'll put gloves on. Because not only this, that's why I have a problem. Now you talk shit about my wife.
This nigga Preach is married probably to a fucking beluga whale somewhere. And y'all niggas talking shit.
So yeah, that's the one thing that you'll find in common with a lot of these red pill content creators. When you go after them and they really don't have a major response, they come for your wife. Actually, after the Fresh and Fit situation, we've seen a slew of content creators going after other content creators' wives. Matter of fact, the guy who's the center focus of today's conversation, Donny boy, all right, this guy, he is the center of it. He is the guy that basically went after Preach's wife again, pretty much regurgitating a lot of the things that Myron said, right? So that's basically what ended up happening. There was this big beef, and after that, Fresh was nowhere to be found. All right, actually, it was Preach that was nowhere to be found. Fresh bought a gun. All right, he bought a gun and he was gone. All right, and he tried to say that yes, I already had it in planning to buy the gun, and it was because of this beef. Because at the time, we still didn't know where Preach was. Preach said he was coming to America and then disappeared off of the internet. All right. And Abba was doing interviews for a while and no one could tell what Preach was. And, Fresh is going ahead and buying a gun. Everybody didn't know what the hell was happening. But we were for sure convinced there would be a boxing match at some point. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And it went by the wayside. Okay. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? Why is all of this coming into focus right now? Because it all goes back to what we've been saying, that the video that Donny Boy is bringing up. He is absolutely obsessed with this whole entire beef and how it happened. So much so that even a year and almost a year and a half since it happened, he still has a strong vendetta against Preach and Abba, but it seems like a lot of his attention is targeted towards Preach. All right. So which brings us back to the infamous video that we were playing earlier, because after this, obviously, Fresh and Fit, they've been in their own myriad of controversy after controversy, but one major one, which also conveniently has to do with this whole paying for box debate, all right, because realistically, that is the central theme of this entire thing, right? Yes, Fresh got exposed by DJ Academics, which was incredibly just beautiful, right? Because these are the same guys talking about real players don't play for box and they don't fly girls out, and they're generally not simps, okay? Because high value men attract good girls. Well, apparently, in came Miranda. All right, in came Miranda, and the whole situation that blew up after that. Now, when Fresh was dealing with her below the scenes, all right, no one kind of knew, and he, everyone kind of just let it go because he was doing a high value conversation, and he was telling his audience, these girls out here, they're no good. You got to be a high value man. You got to protect yourself. All right, don't be a simp. Don't buy her OnlyFans. All right. Don't fly her out. Don't do anything that would consider you being a simp, okay? And we didn't know at this point in time that he, in fact, was dating Miranda, all right? And with Miranda came a whole host of situation. Matter of fact, it wasn't until when DJ Academics came into the picture, because at this point, DJ Academics was kind of dealing with them, and, he actually knew Fresh behind the scenes and knew a lot about what was going on. So he was actually one of the main ones that called out Fresh on being kind of disingenuous, right? It's basically saying, hey, you're talking about one rule for one person and different rules for you, all right? Because we know about Miranda, and by we I meant DJ Academics. He knew what she was all about. Matter of fact, he even knew how Fresh met her, and it was the craziest thing because it went behind everything that these guys were preaching to these young, desperate men.
I mean, we got 4,000 people in here while instructing them how to live their lives. Make sure you're very cognizant how you're living yours, you know. Or you could maybe just keep it real and just say, hey, you listen, follow what I say, but not what I do. Okay. I asked you a few simple questions and the answers were very alarming. Okay. I feel like if, you know, the roles were reversed and we have like a lot of beautiful women on the panel today, but I'm watching, you guys know I watch your show religiously when I'm not here. And the advice you give to men is very different than what you are following. Okay, explain to me where. Okay. And again, the only audience and jury will be the chat. Yeah. I believe if you were speaking about a woman who, you know, is in her early 20s who came to Miami, who met high value men, like you would consider yourself, right? Yeah, for this show. Okay. if you would speak about that woman who met that guy on a multi-million-dollar yacht, the first thing in the assumption wouldn't be she loves me or she likes me for me. Okay. Let's hear her first. Hold on. You see, this where you fucked up because you don't watch the show. I said multiple times, if I choose, right, to be with one girl, I've had fuck many girls, right, bro? If I choose a chance to say, you know what, I like her, I can do that. Because guess what? I've vetted girls, I've seen what I've had multiple options. I can do it. That's why you don't watch podcasts, bro. I don't know. You're judging me based off what you hear Myron say, not what I say. I say on the same page. No, we are, but I just choose to be with one person if I want to. He wants multiple wives. He wants kids. I don't. So this is why when you make assumptions about people. No, it's not even about assumptions. It is. So it really is, bro. So in your rhetoric, then you should let dudes know, hey, not all high value men should be giving their woman the ultimatum that because we do, bro. We do. We always do. She wants to show. Okay. See, you're assuming, right? Okay. That just because you think that we say one thing is on the rule, we say, look, some guys, majority of guys are gonna want that type of lifestyle, but some don't. We put that in there. But our show is very radical, right? I get it. It's very strong point, one point of view. So you're thinking, oh, that's all it really is, bro. We say it all the time. Look, if you're a high value man, you have a choice to make. You want multiple chicks? You can, because you earned it, you deserve it. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And some guys out there, they got hella money, but they want one girl. Jeff Bezos, one girl. You feel me? Like, it's a choice. Hold on, what do you want? Huh? I said it. I just said, if I decide to settle down, it's gonna be with one girl. That being said, will I marry again? Hell no. They want kids? Hell no. But in my RP lens, I'm gonna go with this girl because I chose to say, you know what? I don't want to stress with other girls. I already been doing that shit. 5 4 girls, bro, is a headache, bro. I already did that shit, right? If it's just one girl, it's because I want to be with her. That being said, I'm talking to her right now, seeing what the vibe is, and if I like her, maybe in the future, maybe something. If not, then it is what it is.
Yeah, don't let this clown fool you because he's trying to make it seem like he's so red pill aware that, yeah, he knows how to vet women. Now, here's a couple things. Obviously, that was an edited clip of what really went down, and I don't think we need to rehash the past. Matter of fact, the only reason why we're playing this video is because Donny Boy, a year and a half later, is trying to make up shit, and we got to basically call him out on it, okay? But it's funny that he said all of that because DJ Academics knew what he knew while they came up there to do his debate. And we knew that, and there's a reason why he mentioned yacht and finding a woman on a multi-million-dollar yacht, because that's exactly where Fresh, that's exactly where he found Miranda, on a yacht, which I found incredibly hilarious because it was funny because he's over here talking about, well, I'm vetting her out and she's great. And even later in that show, he was basically saying, well, you know, she's different because, you know, girls who are from Miami, they get imbued with the Miami culture and they become 304s, moving around here, owning Snapchats and OnlyFans, right? And then promoting their OnlyFans through their Snapchats. It's crazy. Versus Miranda, oh, she is such a good girl. She will never do anything to, hurt me. And I'm vetting her right now, right? So it was actually crazy how he did all that. And the internet did what the internet always does. And the internet ended up pretty much exposing who this Miranda girl really was.
I usually end up telling a lie because there's too much to get through. I don't want to go through the motions of saying that auditions are a full-time job. I'd rather smile and simply state that I have a full-time job as an accountant. Nobody asks you questions when you say you're an accountant. I'm a struggling actor, but if I'm asked by a stranger what I do,
That was fun. All right. And she kept saying, those lists that you guys saw, the whole list was on her TikTok. Okay. And those are basically screenshots of other dudes flying her out. Okay. And listen, I'm not in the manosphere space. Okay. I don't know, like, red pill wise, I'm not speaking that shit. Okay. But I know for a fact, if other dudes are flying the girl that you said is a good girl, like, wait a minute, doesn't that kind of contradict what you're saying? But no, that's not all, folks. Here's what Miranda like truly believes, right?
She's not into like designer, going crazy like, oh, I need to have this and that. It's more like she wants a good time with me.
Right? This whole time, Fresh is going around telling you guys that your choices of women are just horrible. And, with the red pill lens and being red pill aware, you can vet a woman and make sure that, she's good enough for a high value man such as yourself. Meanwhile, this is the same guy dealing with a girl who other dudes have flown out and who basically said her dream guy is a guy who should basically be a sugar baby off of. That's pretty much what it is, right? So she's out here on TikTok teaching other young girls how to be little Brittany Renners, and yet Fresh had the audacity to basically say that no, she's one of the good ones, right? His red pill lens never lie. And for those of you guys who might be in the now and saying, well, Fresh, he didn't really like Miranda like that. No, that's not true. Actually, even way after this fiasco blew up, right? It blew up in all of their faces. DJ Academics actually called Fresh out again because what ended up happening was he got caught with Miranda and they were walking a dog. It was freaking crazy, man. It was hilarious. Now, why are we talking about the whole Fresh and Miranda situation? Again, it brings us back to Donny Boy and what listen, because this was such a big fiasco, like everybody was covering it, all right? And remember something. Donny Boy didn't stick up for Fresh and Fit when Abba and Preach first got on their butts, all right, exposing them with the whole Nina and, the whole Anna Quinn and all that debacle, right? Donny Boy fell silent and cowered in the corner because he didn't want to catch any strays, all right? He didn't want anything to come back at him, all right? And you heard that he said that earlier, that he felt bad about this, he really felt as though he can do something about that. So when this Fresh and Miranda situation popped up, Donny Boy took that and saw it as his chance to basically go in and give his few thoughts. And realistically, he was probably wishing he never did that, but he did, because this moment right here single-handedly destroyed years of his own credibility.
So the first thing I'd like to point out about the situation is the fact that these two still feel the need to talk shit about Fresh and Fit. Now, one would think that after they successfully slowed down the train that was clearly coming for them in terms of audience and influence, that they would leave the situation behind them, congratulate one another on a successful hatchet job, and ride off into the sunset to continue to build their audience. There's just one problem with this. What they tried didn't work, okay? After the smoke finally cleared, at least after the smoke cleared, you see, gentlemen, Abba and Preach set up an obvious trap for Myron and Fresh. Being inexperienced, which isn't a crime, they took the bait. Initially, like I said before, they handled this very poorly. We all know what happened. There's no need to rehash it, right? Myron and Fresh admitted, hey, we didn't handle the situation well, and we've learned from it. When this whole thing started, make no mistake, the intended objective was to marginalize, defame, and slander Fresh and Fit for the express purpose of destroying their credibility and subsequently their audience. And it actually worked for a little while. Thank you. I think Myron and Fresh lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 subscribers, something like that. Incidentally enough, losing 40,000 subs didn't hurt their bottom line because they actually had their best month financially on YouTube, but the damage was done. Abba and Preach successfully carried out their mission, but a funny thing happened when this incident reached a fever pitch, and this was something they didn't expect. Myron and Fresh
Drink that fucking water, you thirsty ass man.
Took accountability. They did a 5-hour live stream explaining all that had happened. Yes, Myron shot a shot at Anna Quinn. He admits that this was full health about men who, by the rise of Fresh and Fit, they tried to destroy their brand once, but that didn't work. So here they are, once again, talking about someone who has something they cannot have. Now, all of that said, these two are too dumb to see what is obvious. These two are too stupid to realize that Fresh Prince CEO was clearly just using this girl to not only troll everyone, but also for content. He says on his podcast, she's not like everyone else. But did you see the part where he had a smirk on his face? Did you see the video that he did talking about how they actually met and mentioned a sugar site and the yacht? So let me get this straight. Fresh is going to tell everyone that he has found a unicorn and then do a video and post it about all the reasons she's not.
Yeah, folks, you heard it there first. That was Donny Boy in defense of the DJ Academics fiasco, basically saying that Fresh and Miranda situation, we're so stupid to realize that Fresh was trolling us this whole time, right? While we out here just watching the media and just chilling, Fresh was out here playing 4-dimensional chess. That's what Donny Boy would have us believe, that this whole time, right? This whole time, okay, this guy, Fresh Prince, CEO, and Miranda they were playing us. Like, we didn't know that. We were being trolled. Like, oh my God, like, you guys didn't see us trolling. Well, you know what? Hardy har. That's very funny, Donny Boy. Because if that was trolling and you were gonna fall on that sword, go ahead and explain this bullshit. This was Fresh caught by DJ Academics, and this was months after the beef died down. Okay, check it out.
Days Fresh, man. Look at this guy.
Uh-oh.
Holy. Hero, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, brother. What type of dog is that? Yo, gotta hop on the camera. Come over here. I want a dog. Real talk. Yo, I'm in first class and everybody got a dog. What type of dog is this?
As long as you don't record?
Nigga, I just want to see what
As long as you don't record.
dog this is. Move. Nigga. Hero.
Delete
You're hearing Fresh in the background telling them to delete it. I find this hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! Who is this in the background? Hey, Donny Boy. Hey, Donny Boy. You want to know why this wasn't a good look for you? Because of this crap right here. All right, this is what makes you look dumb, because you just sat here on your high horse calling everybody else stupid, that Fresh didn't really care about Miranda, and then come to find out, even after the whole expose died down, he was still dealing with her. He probably is likely dealing with her still to this day, because he's really that much in love with Miranda. But ultimately, this guy is gonna sit here and say that Fresh was trolling all of us, which wasn't true. This guy fell in love with a woman who belongs to the world, and according to the red pill tenets, that's a no-no, right? That's what DJ Academics exposed. That's what a lot of people expose. So it's funny now how he would say that Fresh was trolling because he had a smile on his face. I don't see Fresh smiling right now. Do y'all see the smile on his face? I don't see a smile on his face. It seems like I see a smile on Miranda's face. That's for sure. And if he was trolling us, why is Miranda still in the picture? Or is this a troll right now? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm not as smart as these red pillows over here, so we don't freaking know. But the fact of the matter is, he likes her. There's something about Miranda that Fresh really adores, and he's gonna be with her probably for a long time, okay? And what I find very interesting is that the situation that started this entire beef with Abba versus Fresh and Fit was talking about paying for box. And Fresh is here being caught in multiple scandals, 2 of them by his own best friend, DJ Academics, right? Being caught in multiple scandals, basically paying for box. He paid to fly her out. He paid to have her on the yacht. He's paying her to walk his dog, right? I mean, you can't, and then there she is right there. And he said that. He said that he was paying her to walk his dog. So essentially, Fresh, a red pill guy preaching against paying for box, is also paying for box, right? So you see the hypocrisy. And then our friend Donny Boy told us that it was all trolling. I found that interesting. But let's see what else Donny Boy has to say about that.
And everyone fell for it, including human lie detector, human cap detector, DJ Academics. It was so convincing that the people around him actually thought this thought was actually his girl. But these two dumbasses fell for it because they are pathetic, desperate, and envious. You see, gentlemen, Myron just got verified.
That means nothing. Matter of fact, you guys, as he goes through that entire explanation, he basically uses the fact that Myron has this newfound clout and Fresh and Fitter on the up and up is the reason why Abba and Preach wants to take him down. All right. So all of that being said, now we're all caught up. This brings us to the actual video at large that happened a year and a half later since this beef went down. All right. Donny Boy, still feeling the need to defend, his pals Fresh and Fit, still has a huge vendetta against Preach, all right? And what we were playing before was Preach basically on the Valuetainment show, and they were talking about dating and relationships and things of the sort. And Donny Boy basically was still ridiculing Preach and bringing up old shit. Now that you guys have proper context of this old shit, right? Help me understand if you guys can spot the BS.
They see the ugly underside. They say, you mean I got to pay this chick $100, $200, $300 for a little bit of fun, but she gives it up? She gives it up to the guy with game for free? Like, why do I have to pay and he does? That starts to get into their minds. This is why men who pay for sex eventually become very resentful of the women. DS says he pays for box. Yep. Abba and Preach both pay for sex. They both pay for sex. How do I know? Because they are staunch defenders of buying sex. They are staunch defenders of buying sex. Now, just because someone says, hey, look, I don't see anything wrong with paying for sex, that doesn't mean they pay for sex. Because me, personally, I don't see anything wrong with paying for sex. I've never paid for sex. I've never been an advocate for it, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. But Abba and Preach were so staunch and so vehement in defense of buying sex that the only conclusion that could be reasonably drawn is that they do indeed pay for sex. This is why they took it personally when Myron and Fresh, not really knowing that those two paid for sex, talked about the drawbacks of paying for sex.
When I came back to them, they had hoodies and they were hoods. Mm-hmm. They had hoods and they were screaming to promote something. And I was like, okay, so y'all.
That's their show, Preach. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Didn't listen to what I was saying at all. All right, but that's fine. That's weird. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a bit corny, but that's your thing. And if it's working for you, that's working for you. That's fine. Abba was there. He stayed after that with the girls, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. So we cool. Other than that, we just had a cordial conversation. And then they come out with a video and we comment on it. We do what we do. We comment everything.
Reaction video.
So they go a video.
They come out with a video and we did a reaction to it. No, Preach. You didn't react to a video they did. You reacted to the video you did with them. Let me repeat that. You reacted to a video you did with them. So Preach is trying to paint a narrative. And I want you guys, and again, I'm biased. I'm going to admit that I'm biased, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And you guys are biased too, but try to be fair-minded about this. So Preach is trying to spin this web. He's trying to say, okay, we just did a response to a video that they did. I want you to listen to that again. You might not think that's significant, but it is. Watch.
We just had a cordial conversation.
We just had a cordial conversation. That's what he is referring to.
Then they come out with
video
and we comment on it.
Then they come out with a video and then we comment on it. No. You guys had a cordial conversation. You guys responded to that conversation. It didn't go like you guys did the podcast, then they came out with a video after that, and then you responded to it, and I'll get to that. No, the video you responded to was the video you did with them. Let's continue.
We do what we do. We comment everything.
Reaction video.
So they go a video, and it goes with the video where they talk about, men shouldn't pay for boxing and this and that. And we're like, well, there's a reason why men pay for that. There's a reason why that exists. Like, no, and they were saying some assessments about ladies of the nights. They were making assessments of like, that's not really why they do it and how it works. So if you saying that is you not knowing
You saying that is you not knowing. Oh boy.
And you guys actually, while we're watching this, you guys, we this is why we play the full context before we go back to what this clown is talking about. Again, this is the same guy that said that Fresh was trolling when clearly we know that he's in love with Miranda. So take everything this biased clown says with a grain of salt. But yes, ultimately they were basically, they had a cordial conversation, and they end up reacting to that conversation that they had. Fresh and Fit, it left a bad taste in their mouths. All right. And then it wasn't until after the whole Nina scandal and everything else that a lot of this stuff, broke out. But the fact that the matter remains is that a year and a half later, we have Donny Boy over here still trying to muddy the waters. Matter of fact, he's the one trying to say that Abba and Preach are the ones that actually pay for box. What? Like a year and a half later, after the beef, you out here saying that Abba and Preach are the reason why you know for a fact that they pay for box is because they defended prostitution? No. I mean, if you watch the live stream back, it wasn't that they were defending prostitution, is that they were saying that, hey, we understand why men pay for box. All right. There's a thing, but it doesn't make it a horrible thing, where you guys were basically saying, no, if a guy pays for box, well, then, they're simps and, they're weak and all the stuff like that. And, the women are not going to love them. They're going to love the money, right? That was the thing. So essentially the difference between paying for, someone's attention versus, garnering someone's attention based off of your essence, right? Your value, being a high value individual, whatever the hell that means to you, right? So that's what the essential clash is, which, again, it's still going on till today, right? And Donny Boy still hasn't let that go. But it's just one of those things where I find interesting, because now coming out of it, a lot of these guys, it comes to find out they are paying for box. They are these weak, feckless men that are angry as women and probably hate women and probably are the real misogynists. And it's not me saying that. That's what Donny Boy said. He just said that. He said men who pay for box are the real people that hate women, right? And then all of the guys he's defending also pay for box. Matter of fact, Fresh met Miranda on seeking arrangements. And we just played a video of her pretty much showing off the receipts of getting flown out by multiple men. So it just goes to show you that if you don't keep things straight, it's easy for guys like Donny to come in here and just lie and misrepresent the entire situation. So no, guys, it wasn't Abba and Preach. And realistically, we don't even know if they're paying for box. Like, how would you even know that based off them, defending an argument? That's fucking weird. All right. No, we don't know that. But for you to make that blanket statement, I equate it to that troll comment you made earlier. Like, it's just cap, bro. Like, stop. And the fact that years later, you're still bringing this up and purposely misrepresenting it to make them look like the haters and the grimy ones for doing this crap, it's just a whole new low. And realistically, it makes you, Donny Boy, the manosphere's biggest embarrassment. And that's not cap.
How it works.
Oh, you saying that is you not knowing how it works. This is why we know Abba and Preach pay for box. Because again, he's making himself the authority. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how it works. This is why we know they pay for box, guys. King of Life just nailed it. Told you, let them talk long enough, and eventually they will expose themselves. Let's keep listening.
But it's fine. But yeah, no. Check your takes, because that's not a good take.
Check your takes. That's not a good take. Okay, that's fine. You can listen. You can disagree with people. You can respectfully disagree with people. That's fine.
Instead of
I misspelled otherwise.
Going after what we said about their takes, they went personal.
There we go. Instead of going after what we said about their takes, they went personal.
They insulted me.
Mm-hmm.
They insulted my wife.
Uh-huh.
Yep. They insulted where I came from.
Uh-huh.
Fresh said that you was
okay. So let me stop it right there, because this is a very important section. What Preach is trying to Preach would have us believe. And again, I want to make sure that I make this crystal clear. That way, anyone who's watching, who's seeing this or hearing about this for the first time, you understand what's happening. Preach wants everyone to think that they went on the Fresh and Fit podcast, then Fresh and Fit did a video after that, and that Abba and Preach responded to the second video, not the first video. What really happened, Abba and Preach went on to Fresh and Fit. Abba and Preach then did a response to the video they did with Myron and Fresh. Here's what happened. They didn't just do a response video. He says, we do response videos on everybody. We respond to everybody. Very, very true. But this was not just a response video, gentlemen. This was not just a response video. They did not respectfully disagree with Myron and Fresh. Now, before we watch that video that they did, the response that they did to Myron and Fresh, okay, I'm going to go on record. Dude, I had conversations with Myron right after it happened. Myron and Fresh will tell you to this day, and they said as much on that 6-hour live stream, clearing the record. They shouldn't have gone personal. Myron shouldn't have done the They should not have made fun of Preach's wife. They shouldn't have done all of that stuff. None of that stuff. Right? Dude, Myron has said on and off the, hey, look, man, I fucked up. I made a mistake. It is what it is. We paid the price. We took our medicine. It is what it is. I told Myron, I was actually in the shower when it happened. And I was like, oh, shit. I thought it was funny, but I shot Myron a text. I was like, yo, shoot me a text between.
You thought that was funny? Myron making baboon remarks towards Preach? You thought that was funny? You're black, bro. Like, I don't understand it. You're a black man, and I'm sorry if another dude was making gorilla, noises at me to try to insinuate I'm some kind of primate. I might take that personally. I'm not gonna cap about that. So the fact that you found that funny, Donny boy, I didn't find that funny at all. I don't think a lot of black folks, personally, here's the thing. It's not me. A lot of black folks will not consider Myron a black man. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, here's the thing. He's from Sudan. He's African, right? I get it. And I understand that. From that standpoint, he is black, okay? The skin color matches. But in terms of culture, right, people would say he's not black. Matter of fact, people could say the same thing about me. I'm Nigerian, and they would say you're from Africa, so you're not really black. So it's kind of weird how that thing kind of goes down, right? And we just kind of accept it. But realistically, it kind of goes as part of the course, right? If you don't deem someone who's from Sudan, and a lot of those Sudanese people, they don't really view African Americans in the best of light, right? A lot of them think that they're above a lot of African Americans. That's just the toe. Actually, it's not just Sudanese. Most African countries tend to have that view, and I disagree with that. So, Tariq Nasheed, you got a point there. But here's the thing, right? Myron doesn't look favorable on other black folks, and even some black folks on their show that have been on the show have kind of attested that too as well, right? Now, am I saying that Myron is a full-blown racist? No, but I mean, the guy does harbor a lot of prejudice. So to have a guy like this who is known for saying what he says about black people, and on top of that, particularly black women and how they deal with them, I just find it interesting that you're going to go ahead and make gorilla noises at, Preach. That doesn't make any sense. And matter of fact, this isn't the first time Myron has been around individuals who've done certain things like that or has participated in that by himself, right? There was another black content creator. His name is QB, and he was on a show with another guy named MLD, all right? Modern Life Dating. And for those of you guys who don't know, we actually exposed Modern Life Dating because he's the same guy who basically talks about being fit and being a hot dude, right? You got to be a hot dude in here, all right? You're not cool unless you're a hot dude. Now, you guys ask me what a hot dude is. I don't know what a hot dude is, but you got to be a hot dude to be a part of his crew, all right? And MLD basically is another red pillar that utilizes his platform to scam a lot of people, all right? And one of the things that we exposed is that he has a fitness program out there that basically charges men $500 to $700 basically to join up. And once you join up, you learn all the tenets on how to be a fit, high value individual, right? And come to find out, this was the same guy who then took that money and got liposuction, then went to go do a live stream after being exposed for getting liposuction to try to convince a bunch of guys that, hey, you guys should do liposuction. It's the best thing ever. But listen, that's not the point. You took their money to sell them fitness courses, and now you got lipo. You cheated. There's no consistency. There's no discipline whatsoever. So that's MLD in a nutshell. Why is he relevant? Because he was also on a stream with Myron back when Myron was still a little fry, right? He was still running his podcast that was separate from the Fresh and Fit podcast. And MLD was featured on that live stream, basically calling QB a monkey, an uneducated monkey, right? That's very interesting that he was on a platform where this clearly non-black dude, and some would even consider white, is on a platform calling another black man an uneducated monkey. Fast forward years down the line, when Fresh and Fit all of a sudden becomes a thing, they're now beefing with one of the biggest content creators out there. And one of the things that Myron does is make monkey remarks and monkey gestures towards Preach. I'm not saying there's a correlation or causation. I'm just saying that this is kind of this is kind of odd, right? He doesn't say that when another guy's a white dude is doing this to another black man on stream, and then here he himself doing the same thing to a black man making those monkey remarks. So the fact that Donny boy here found all of that hilarious, what modern life dating is doing and what Myron was doing, he found that hilarious. That's just disgusting to me. And to make the hole even deeper, Donny boy also is he does content with MLD, right? All these red pillars are all in the same house. Now, am I saying that they're all racist? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that these guys can harbor some fucked up views from time to time. And this is what I mean. There's some parts of the red pill that make sense and you'd want to agree with it. And then the other parts where it just drags you down a crazy asshole. But let's see what else Donny boy has to say.
Now and after hours. Or call me between now and after. He called me up. He's like, what's up? I was like, yo, dude, what you did was funny as shit. I said, just be prepared for some blowback. And I remember Myron telling me, yeah. He said, we're probably going to catch some heat for that. And that they did. Fresh and Fit were wrong for going at Abba and Preach personally. However, for Preach to sit here and characterize their response to Myron and Fresh as just the typical response video, like they do with all videos, that is intellectually dishonest and a flat out lie. This is intellectually dishonest. This was not just a response. No, they disrespectfully disagreed. And you know what? If you don't believe me, we are going to respond. We are going to do a breakdown of their breakdown of Fresh and Fit. And so now I have to take extreme precautions because Ab and Preach strike me as the type of people who, even though I have a copyright fair use disclaimer on the board, I have reason to believe that they would probably report me. Abba is...
Bro, you are one big cap. The only person that reports anyone on YouTube is Donny boy. He even reported a girl who used to be on a Fresh and Fit platform. I forgot what her name was. This little blonde girl that he ended up debating later. And the reason why they ended up debating because Donny boy over here deleted a video or copyright struck a video of hers with him talking crap about her, which I found hilarious that you're going to pin Abba and Preach as the ones who are going to take down your video. Nice try. But unlike Donny boy here, I actually really don't have time to watch his breakdown of another breakdown of what's going on and all those different things like that. Matter of fact, I would actually much rather watch Donny boy's breakdown of what he felt about not only Obsidian, and we got another video coming out about the beef between him and Obsidian and how that shit went down, but how he also was talking and how he really felt about Preach's wife. You know, the same crap that got your boys, Myron, in the same hot soup in the first place. You wanting to go ahead and land yourself in there. Why? Because you want to defend your buddies. This beef happened 1.5 years ago, Donny. Why are you focused on it? It makes no sense. And the fact that I even have to cover this to prove that you are on here lying to people, it's just asinine to me that, like, people are just believing that shit, right? That's why we're here. We're here to hold these guys accountable, all right? So let's go ahead and play what he really felt about not only Minister Jap's wife, all right, but also Preach's wife. And as we play this video, I'm actually not a big fan of Minister Jap at all. I went on a stream with him and Benny Boy, all right, Bernard Riley, a while ago, and it was actually a hit piece that they tried to do on me, right? So they ambushed me on the stream. I mean, it was crazy because what they expected wasn't really it. They thought I was going to cower and whatnot, but I challenged all of them. And one main ones I challenged was Obsidian, and because I thought he was a smart guy, right? Because, you know, he writes books and he talks about game from an educated perspective. Matter of fact, he said his own words, he wants to be the dating coach of incels. You can't make this shit up, people. All right, so that's Obsidian. So I challenged him a couple times, and then I realized that maybe he's not as smart as he thinks he is. So I've had problems with Obsidian since then, because you can't, after listening to that guy, you actually can't take him seriously. He's one of the ones that said that a woman should be a leader of the manosphere space. You know, y'all heard me. He wants a woman to lead a space where men are supposed to be taught how to be leaders. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Donny Boy hates him. I kind of don't like him. I'm indifferent to him. But realistically, it's not what he said about Obsidian's wife. It's the fact that he did go after somebody else's wife. He made personal attacks. And on top of that, he's still going after Preach. But let's see what else he's got to say.
Dude, I'm not doing this. No. A lot of you motherfuckers, man, you guys try to hold us to standards you don't hold yourselves to. I'm a human fucking being. I get pissed off when people fuck me over. And from now on, when people fuck me over, I'm fucking them over. I don't give a shit.
Pause.
I do not give a shit. Dude, I deal with people in good faith. I don't fuck anybody. My only crime against Anthony Johnson was having the audacity to have the CME. That's all he needed. That's all he needed. My only crime with O'Shea was talking the way I do. My crime with Obsidian is seeing that he lives in a fucking shanty. I don't give a fuck. I'm not taking the high road with motherfuckers. If motherfuckers gonna take the low road, I'm gonna take the low road. Fuck what you heard. Preach, your wife is a fucking fat ass. Obsidian, your woman is a fucking fat ass. And oh, by the way, Obsidian's woman has 3 children. Guess how many she has custody of? This many. These are facts. This bitch told this to Devin. Facts. Obsidian's woman has 3 children that she does not have custody of. Facts. Ask him about that. Ask him about that. This nigga's gonna tell me I showed up drunk and that my woman looks like trailer trash? Bet. Game on. Game on. Your bitch is from Chicago. She has 3 kids that she does not have custody of. Facts. I am sick and tired of these ignorant ass niggas talking shit. I don't give a fuck. I've reached my fucking limit. That's it. I'm not turning the other cheek. I'm not doing none of that shit. And if you guys don't, well, that's not very red pill or very masculine of you. Unfucking subscribe. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I love Kevin Samuels like a fucking brother. I gave him a platform and nobody else would. As soon as he made it, he retracted the ladder.
You know what? I find that so funny because Fresh and Fit, they've made it for a long time. And Donny Boy, I haven't seen you back on that platform. Yet here you are a year and a half later after the beef happened and you're still defending them, yet they not showing you that love. So, you know, it just doesn't make sense. You talking about all this, yet the same thing is happening to you. Like, that's crazy to me, but continue.
Those are facts. O'Shea lied about the fact that I tried to start a Black 21 convention behind his back. That was a fucking lie. Facts. Obsidian's girlfriend is a fucking fat ass who has 3 kids that she no longer has custody of. Facts. Oh my God, Donovan, that's immature of you. Then I guess I'm fucking immature. I'm not dude, I'm not.
That's why we call you Donny Boy. It fits perfectly.
Dealing with these niggas like grown men anymore. I'm not, dude, I am not getting burned any fucking more. So the next time Obsidian starts talking shit, y'all let him know in the chat, hey, what's up with your girl's 3 kids? What happened there? Facts. These niggas out here talking all this shit. And the same niggas that want that drama, Donovan, why did you do that? He started it, goddammit. Oh, well, so 2 wrongs don't make a right. I don't give a fuck what 2 wrongs makes. If motherfuckers gonna fire at me, I'm firing back. And Anthony Johnson, bruh, you are in, dude, bruh, you got no idea what's coming to you, bruh. No fucking, dude, oh my God. Anthony, for whatever reason, thinks that he's in the clear because he hasn't seen or heard anything. Bruh, oh my God. Trust me, when the shit starts to hit the fan legally for this motherfucker, y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know. And you wanna know something? You wanna know something? You wanna know what Anthony has done? This dude launched the DDoS attack on all of my on one of my websites when I released my last course, Relationship Foundation Fundamentals. This dude has people all over trying to shut down my my payment processors by using fraudulent credit cards to make multiple purchases. I had one guy in some crazy country try to make 1,000 purchases overnight. Nobody else has the motive to do that but him. I know it's him. He got my Twitter shut down. He got my Instagram shut down. He got my PayPal shut down. These are facts. And and all I did was had the audacity to start the CME. This man is trying to destroy my business. But then as soon as I say anything ill about him, oh, Donovan, you should take the high road. Fuck the high road. Fuck that. By the time I'm done with Anthony, he's never going to want to see the inside of a courtroom again. I can guarantee it. You guys wait. When the shit starts to hit the fan, y'all gonna know. I won't have to say a goddamn thing. Y'all just got to watch him. Here's something else. Here's another little tidbit for you guys. This is a review. This is a review on my mobile app. Says Donovan Sharp is a racist by Mr. Donovan Sharp, a.k.a. Eddie Hopkins, is racist against black women. He's a Nazi and a misogynist. He has been arrested 8 times for fraud and targets black and Jewish people. I am disgusted by this content. P.S. Hi, Cynthia. An homage to Devin. That is her name. Cynthia. This is what this man has done to me in the background. And you guys wonder why there is never any love lost between me and him. I did nothing to this man. He says, oh, you poached speakers. I didn't poach speakers. We knew the same people. I said, hey, you spoke at Anthony's thing? Why don't you come speak at mine? I didn't say, hey, if you speak at Anthony's convention, you don't get to speak at mine. No. Anthony thinks he's slick with the wording. Oh, he poached and he's a public figure. Anthony, you really, really need to look up the Florida statute on what constitutes as a public figure. That little tidbit I'm going to give you for free. Whatever your fake attorney, or whatever the fuck his name is, Dana Anderson, you better tell him to do some research. Because if you don't figure out what the fuck that is, you are in for a long winter, my friend. Trust me. I'm a flawed individual. Guys, I'm a very, very flawed individual. I am. And from now on, you guys are going to see the flaws. You guys are going to see the human side in me.
Yeah, we've seen more than the human side in you, Donny boy. And we are seeing a lot more on display right now. Matter of fact, come to think about it, I find it interesting that you have this rest in peace Kevin Samuels watermark on your screen here while you're streaming, yet you just got done talking about how Kevin Samuels may have not been a real friend to you. Make that make sense, Donny boy. All right, you sound like you're being a little two-faced here. And realistically, what I think, just the way that Kevin Samuels treated you is probably the way Fresh and Fit are treating you right now, but you don't want to say anything. I believe that Fresh and Fit are most likely ignoring you. I mean, they're not going to platform you as much because your platform isn't growing as much as some of these other guys, especially with Andrew Tate. Listen, Andrew Tate blew up exponentially. He was able to garner a lot of Fresh and Fit's fan base because he has that charisma to be able to build off of that. Matter of fact, his charisma was so crazy that when Andrew Tate finally blossomed to the Andrew Tate we know today, his marketing game was on a different level to the point that other people were replicating his marketing game. Like everyone is doing the Tate marketing strategy right now because he was so successful at that. But Fresh and Fit had a lot of help. You have been carried by Fresh and Fit this entire time. Matter of fact, didn't you help them get to where they are and you're still in the same spot? What does that say about you and the style of content that you put out? Matter of fact, I think that they aren't showing you love anymore, Donny boy. Not a lot of people are. Let's just be real, all right? And I feel as though if something were to happen to Myron and Fresh Prince CEO, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Donny boy video talking about how he really felt like Fresh and Fit didn't really consider him as a friend, right? Here you go. You guys don't know what the hell is going on behind the scenes between these guys, but I'm going to tell you one big hint that is going to help put a lot of the mystery away, okay? You guys ready for this? let me get my mug fully in focus here. All of these guys, all of these big wannabe douchebags over here, they all hate each other. They can't stand each other. Hell, Myron doesn't even like Fresh like that, but they're running a podcast together. They don't like each other. So this fake masculine unity and, men coming together and we're building a platform to go ahead and, save these lives and no, because if they don't even like themselves and they compete amongst themselves pretty aggressively, right? What do you think they feel about you? You're the market. You're what they're competing for. They want your dollars. So at the end of the day, anyone that these guys view as a competition, they instantly just don't like. They don't like each other. Matter of fact, the whole reason Kevin Samuels had a beef with Fresh and Fit was because Kevin Samuels didn't want them streaming at the same time they were streaming. So even though Kevin Samuels went on their show and helped Fresh and Fit get a little bigger than what they were, right, with the whole girl running out when Kevin Samuels was on there, right, that wasn't done out of the goodness of Kevin Samuels' heart or anything. It wasn't even done for clout. Kevin Samuels didn't care about that. Kevin Samuels cared about the time frame that they were streaming because it cut into his. And Myron, being Myron, didn't like that. So he said, fuck that guy. And actually, we did an episode where Yende exposed the whole thing where he was calling Kevin Samuels the F word. And no, it doesn't end with uck. It ends with ag, right? So he was saying that throughout the whole thing. This is what he was saying about Kevin Samuels. And you guys even noticed that watching their platform, he stopped promoting Kevin Samuels content and people were asking about that. And the reason why Myron gave to his fans was that, hey, I didn't appreciate you guys, saying Kevin Samuels should come to our platform and save us, okay? Kevin Samuels has his own platform, and we have our own platform. All right, we're not Kevin Samuels. And that was very interesting, which they do kind of have a point, right, on that, but it just didn't make any sense the way Myron said it. And that's how we knew that there was trouble underneath the surface. So moving past all of that, there you have it, folks. This is why we talk about what we talk about. A lot of these guys that are saying they're here to help you, they don't even like each other. They hate each other, and they're waiting for the perfect time to rip each other apart so they can get at your wallets. That's all it is, all right? So the fact that Donny Boy is bringing all of this up a year and a half later, it just doesn't make any sense. To me, I feel as though that it's a clout thing, right? I mean, what else? Why else would someone bring up a beef that happened a year and a half ago? It just doesn't make any sense. Just let it die. And on top of that, you brought it up while insulting his wife. And it wasn't just Preach's wife. He also insulted Destiny's wife, right? He talking about if she does OnlyFans. I don't know if she does that or not. I think she does OnlyFans, but he was going after Destiny's wives. I mean, that Obsidian's wife. He was going after a bunch of these guys' wives, and which is funny because you get mad when people go after your girl, but like you over here just lambasting other people, which I find hilarious, you big hypocrite. But there it is. So he wants that smoke. Don't get it twisted, all right? Donny Boy over here, he wants all of the smoke with everybody, okay? He don't care one iota who's going to step in his way, all right? According to him, Kevin Samuels is gone, so he wants free reign to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And you know what? I say let's let him do it. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's let him do all that because we know that the longer this clown talks, the more he makes himself look stupid. Again, do I have to digress to the trolling thing where he said that we were all being trolled by Fresh playing four-dimensional chess? First of all, let me just ask you one question. When have y'all ever seen this dude Fresh play any type of chess whatsoever? All right, he doesn't even know how to play checkers yet. Okay, I mean, I don't know what Donny Boy was talking about, but the whole him and Miranda situation, that was real. What we saw was real. All right, because he was paying her. All right, so the moral of the story is, guys, don't listen to what these red pills are telling you. I mean, I'm not saying don't listen. I mean, I did just say that, but what I mean by don't listen, I mean listen. But take this bullshit with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, like Donny Boy says, they're all flawed human beings, okay? Now, here's the thing. Do we have someone said in the chat, what's good, guys? Welcome to the chat, by the way. Hit the like button on your way in. No, we don't have a problem with Fresh and Fit. Matter of fact, we don't have a problem with any of these Manosphere guys. We report this crap the same way anyone reports any kind of beef in this space. It just so happens that sometimes when we report videos, our videos get flagged by the same guys who talk about they're too alpha to pay attention to little subs, right? But here we are getting our videos flagged. So I just find it interesting. But no, we just cover the stuff so everyone else can know what the hell is going on and piece it together. So when these red pill guys like Donny Boy come up here and spew lies about their best friend Fresh and Fit, we were here to let y'all know what's really going on, okay? And Donny Boy, listen, at some point you got to realize when it's just time to hang up the rope, okay? Listen, you either stick with the little shorts thing you're doing, because he does skits with his girlfriend or wife, Devon, right? He does skits with her, and that's very successful. So keep doing those things and stop dissing these guys. I mean, it's Abba and Preach versus Fresh and Fit, not Abba and Preach, Fresh and Fit, and Donovan Sharp. Right? You're trying to insert yourself into a mix that don't need to be inserted. So let's calm it down and relax. All right. But that's all I have for you guys today, folks. I mean, there's really not much to say about that. All right. I'm going to be condensing all of this into a clip. All right. And that's going to go on the other channel. And you guys will see that in our community tab. So go ahead and look out for that. But yeah, we're going to start clipping a lot of this stuff down. So that way we get the bite-sized pieces and the straight to the point information to where you guys need to go. All right. But other than that, I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're fucking with the show. Please hit the subscribe button, because YouTube, it's January and they're doing their annual program and purge and whatnot. So some of you guys who are subscribed, go ahead and double check to make sure you're subscribed. Otherwise, YouTube's gonna yeet your butt out of here, and it's gonna suck, because you definitely don't want to miss some of the news we have coming out about a bunch of these guys. All right, so enjoy the rest of your weekend and don't go too crazy. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.